It's another business week. Welcome to Business Incorporated, coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. And I'm Chimizi Obi Iwago. Coming up on the show, South Africa's ESCOM to publish financial results on Tuesday. MTN sees return to profit after loss from Nigeria fine. Plus, Opel to export cars to Tunisia and Morocco. Now let's get the show started with the markets. And here on the African continent, at the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the index is all looking set to close in the positive territory today. At midday, the all-share index was up 0.57% back into the 44,000 mark, thanks to the banking stocks. The South African JSE index was down 0.91%. And Egypt was trading in the positive, up 0.59%. Nairobi closed in the green on Friday, up 0.63%. And in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia's stock market rose at intraday as investment firm Kingdom Holding continued rebounding after its owner Prince Al Walid bin Talal was released from custody. The Saudi index gained 0.34% as Kingdom added 4.8% to 10.52 reals in heavy volumes, rising above the 10.28 real level where it traded before Prince Al Walid was detained in a corruption probe last November. Dubai's index was down 0.26% and Abu Dhabi edged down 0.12% as Abu Dhabi National Energy retreated 3.5%. In Qatar, the index was up 0.41%, but drilling rig provider Gulf International Services, which had climbed 3.6% on Sunday in heavy trade, pulled back 1.8%. And Europe markets were mixed in early trade as investors monitored fresh economic data and corporate earnings. Daniel Coop, my colleague in Frankfurt, is on board to tell us more. Good afternoon, Daniel. Good to see you. A beautiful week, I guess.
Yeah, very beautiful week with actually nice temperatures also outside. I hope you're doing just fine, Jimmy.
And also here. Anyway, let's start off in the U.S. A very busy week begins there tomorrow with President Trump's first State of the Nation's address, then the Fed rate decision on Wednesday, and jobs report on Friday. Put all these into the market's playbook for this week for us.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a very interesting week here in Frankfurt, but also when you're looking over to the United States. Let's just give you a quick update of what's happening here at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange at the moment after we had record highs here at the blue chip index DAX. The blue chip index DAX right now is actually down. The reason behind this is mostly the very strong euro with a level of about 124 that we are seeing at the moment. We remember that Donald Trump was also stating last week at the World Economic Forum in Davos that he is very much in favor of a very strong US dollar. I guess he's not going to be so happy with those numbers at the moment. But yes, the week is going to be very interesting. We will be monitoring very much the PCE, that's the Consumer Price Index that we'll be getting from the United States. That's always a very good indication how the inflation is doing in the United States. And with the inflation, there is, of course, always a decision if we might see again higher interest rates happening this week. When you talk here to experts on the trading floor, they don't think that we will be seeing higher interest rates to be announced this week. This is also, there's also another reason behind this. It's actually the last working days for Janet Yellen, the current chair of the Fed. We know that she will be replaced by Colin Powell later during this week. So nobody is really here thinking that there will be higher interest rate by her announced on her final days of work.
Well, aside from the data you talked about, earnings from big techies like Apple, AMD, Alibaba are on tap from today. What is the outlook for investors?
So this was the decision. And if you look at
well, actually, the outlook for those tech companies is very promising. Investors will be monitoring all of this very much. Whenever companies, for example, like Alphabet, are providing those numbers, of course, all the interests are on there. And yeah, we might even see new records happening on Wall Street. Let's see how this is going to be the case. We will be also getting very interesting numbers here in Germany as well. Deutsche Bank will be opening their books here on Friday as well. I'll be attending the press conference, certainly. And there's this big discussion right now, and I want to share this with you as well. We remember that Deutsche Bank has been struggling for quite some time. Lots of disappointed shareholders because the shares of Deutsche Bank were not performing as strong as they should be. Now there was this news release that despite those problems, managers and also the board members of Deutsche Bank will be receiving another extra cash into their pocket. This is being criticized today very much by investors, by shareholders, and also by people who are fearing that they might lose their job, because Deutsche Bank has announced a major plan already in the past to close many of their local bank stores as well.
Now, Daniel, another interesting report coming out from where you are now about German car makers, the same bent on proving the cleanliness of their diesel technology by testing it first on monkeys and now on humans. What do you know about this new report?
Yeah, I mean, those reports are shocking, I guess, when you can hear them. And I was talking to an investor earlier. He was telling me whenever you feel that the Dieselgate scandal by Volkswagen has been solved, then something else is going to show up as well. Well, in this case, we know regarding the monkeys that those tests were performed in the United States. We had a statement a little bit earlier from one of the board members of Volkswagen heavily criticizing what happened and also saying that it was not right that the company was doing that. And now we are getting those reports that tests already were performed on humans as well in the past. A study was published in 2016. In that study, 19 men and 6 women were participating. They went to the university hospital in Aachen at least once a week, and by that time they were inhaling those chemical and this gas for about 3 hours. Of course, you have to keep in mind that, and this is not really making it better, but those kind of tests also are being performed when it comes, for example, to testing new medical for many students, and we are learning that in this case those were mostly young people. This is in many cases very attractive because they get quite some money for it, but on the same time many people here in Germany, activists, are really criticizing Volkswagen once more. Very interesting though, Volkswagen today is one of the strongest performers here at the blue chip index DAX. A reason behind this, there was an analytic report saying that shares of Volkswagen they will be performing in the near future again very strong. That's why we were seeing those very good numbers despite again this very negative PR that we are seeing here from Volkswagen in the news today here in Germany, Jim.
Interesting, and that's an irony, I must say. Anyway, thank you very much, Daniel. I guess we have quite a lot to chew in the course of the week, so let's keep a tab on all of these developments this week. We'll move on now.